Yo, what's up, guys? We are back with another one, and today is underrated chess books that you must read today. All of them. I'm kidding. You're not going to read all of them, guys, but I am going to get you, up to date and up to speed with the must book you need to read. And they're underrated. Underrated books you must read. You know what I mean? So here we go. We're on Chessable. We looked at yesterday some other books that were basically important for you to read and to help you improve your chess. Now we're looking at underrated books. Some of you guys might have had the books I talked about before. These are very underrated that you will never ever think that you should read. Some people, yes, okay. And some might already know some of these books and some might not. Here we go. So we're going to go down the list. I actually was, when I was looking through my Chessable books, I was kind of finding some old ones too as well. This one is by Sam Shanklin, I think. This is the in-game strategy one. This one's actually pretty nice. He has a newer one out now. Maybe it's not by Shanklin. He actually does, I think, video for this one. This one's really good, but there's also a Rook in-game one that he has that's new. I'll actually open up the whole tab for here. We're starting with this one, which is, I think the video is by, video is by Shanklin, and it's by Chevaretsky. I remember, I was like, I knew it wasn't Shanklin making the book. So, very strong. It's all about in-games, obviously, here. It's for the theoretical book in-games that named Mark Dvoretsky, but for practical in-games, this one is probably better when it comes to like practical in-games. So we have this one first, the in-game strategy one. I think this one's good. I think it's just good to have, a must-read, underrated. No, I think it's very good to have. I wiped the progress in here. You see, I haven't done anything because I just wiped the progress because I need to do it over. This one I've done a lot in. In fact, I actually have a lot of points. I restarted the book. I actually finished and then I restarted it again. It's important to read books more than one time because you get something every time you read through it. So, Encyclopedia of Chess Combinations. In fact, this book right here is very complicated. Sometimes the tactics in here are like 15 moves long, and it actually says that on the back of the book, I have the hard copy too. I'm looking right at it. It's actually using it as a stand for my my monitor, but it is a very strong book, and I actually used it before. But on the back of it, it says you need to be 2,200 FIDE before you even open the book. Very strong book here in Encyclopedia of Chess Combinations. Next is the Woodpecker Method. This one is very important. Lots of people have gone through this one. It's a lot of good information in here, but it also good reviews, to say the least, in here. In fact, one of the guys, Hans Tikkanen, whatever his last name is, I actually always butcher it, but he said he got 3 GM norms in 6 weeks from actually going through this Woodpecker Method. So it's a very important book here. I highly recommend it. I went through it, and I also have a lot of students of mine go through it too as well. Next one, Grandmaster Preparation, Positional Play. This one's by Jacob Agard. Very strong player, Grandmaster. Of course, he has the Grandmaster Preparation series. He has one that's positional play. He has one that's calculation. He has one that's like thinking outside the box or thinking inside the box. Actually, I'm looking right at it. It's right under my other screen as a stand. But thinking inside the box, I use that one too. I have the hard copy of all of these. And then there's another one, Attack and Defense, that he has. So he has a series of these. This one's nice because it goes over 3 questions. And of course, didn't know that I was going to give you guys an extra lesson here. But in this book, it talks about the 3 questions, which is really important. And those questions are, first off, subscribe under the video. I'm going to need you guys to hit that button. And then I'm going to get into these 3 questions. Now, 3 questions are, number 1, what are the weaknesses in the position? That's for both sides. In fact, I read the book so many times that I actually ask it for both sides now. But generally, the question is just, where are the weaknesses basically in the position? Usually in your opponent's position. The second question is, what is the worst placed piece? Again, this is for both sides, for me and for my opponent. What's the worst placed piece? Lots of times you can make moves and plans and ideas and win games based off of the worst placed piece. And then the third one is, what is my opponent's idea? So this is important. You ask these 3 questions lots of times when you're in the middle game and you really don't know what to do yet and you need some clarity. It's what it does. It gives you clarity. So this book is pretty fire because all the exercises in this book is you asking the questions and you answering them. And then, you obviously try to figure out what it is. That was nice. This one is Mastering Chess Mental Games. I need to go through this one again. I wiped it. You can always wipe your progress. It's kind of like if you read a hard copy book and then you read it again. That's kind of what this is. In Chessable, you can wipe the progress without losing points. You just wipe the progress, kind of starting the book over. First edition, Mastering Chess Mental Games. There's a newer one they just put out with video on it. This one's nice. This one actually, I wasn't as strong as I am now, so I'll be able to understand it a lot more. But when I was going through it, I knew that this one was incredibly hard. Reason being is basically the whole book is a collection of 2,600 GMs sitting around solving these puzzles, basically. Or not puzzles, but just positional stuff, basically. So pretty strong stuff here. This one's beyond material. I actually have to be honest with you guys. I haven't gone through this one as much as I should. It's more about sacrificing material, which of course we are aggressive players and we like to attack. I probably should go through this book. Beyond material is not being afraid to sacrifice material. This one I need to go through, but I just haven't. So I need to go through that one. The Woodpecker Method 2, positional play. I think this one's an amazing one. It's actually the newer Woodpecker. This was a positional one. The other Woodpecker Method that we scroll up here and we see this one. This one is Woodpecker 1, where, you know, this is all about tactics. Woodpecker 2 is more, you see in the title, positional play. Woodpecker 2 there, right? So Van Perlo's In-Game Tactics. This one is a legendary book all about in-game tactics, basically. So it's pretty nice. It's actually underrated. I'm not even gonna lie, it's an underrated book. I have the hard copy too. Is this? I remember when I got it and I learned so much from the hard copy that obviously when I saw it on Chessable, I had to grab it. So pretty fun one. Mastering Opening Strategy. I actually haven't went through this one myself because it's an opening one. I don't spend so much time on the opening theory so much. Nowadays, like I have some days or months sometimes where I'll spend on opening, but a lot of times it's mostly on tactics and calculation and in game. So I will have to spend some time here myself in this one. I've spent a lot of time with openings, period, but not in this book yet. I heard a lot of good things about this one, though. I think it's a very underrated book. This one is underrated. People don't know this one exists. This one is actually by Mauricio Flores, but presented by Peter Hein Nielsen there, Magnus's old coach, up until 2023 from 2007 or something. But Chess Structures, the Grandmaster Guide. This one is actually very fire. I'll actually open it real quick to show you what I teach students about this one. This one's really nice because you see, like, chapter 1 is about the isolated pawn. Chapter 2 is the hanging pawn structure. And then you have all your structures off of openings that you may play. They don't have them all in here, but a lot of structures that you might have played. If you're a French player, here you go. If you're a King's Indian player like we are, you'll be able to see the pawn structures here. And the best thing I love about this book is, and when you go to the introduction part of each book, look at this. They're telling you, here's the isolated pawn. What are you doing with the white side? For instance, over here on the notes, it says white plans. Create a king side attack. Most plans look like knight e5, bishop g5, queen d3, bishop c2. Amazing. And then with black's plans, on the other side, you can flip the board here. It says trade pieces, win the endgame. Particularly exchange white's good bishop, the light square bishop, which is probably going to be on the light square diagonal, trying to checkmate you. Very important. This is really nice because your structures, you will have to play against isolated pawns, no matter what opening you play. Same thing with like hanging pawns, no matter what opening you play and stuff like that. So it's important to understand that. Chess Structures, really good one. Now let's go back to the other ones. Thinking in Chess, a how-to guide by Kramnik himself, who created this course. It is on Chessable. So this one I liked because in one of the content and like the introduction, it was talking about 3 questions, which remember we looked at before with positional play. If you scroll up here, remember Grandmaster preparation, positional play. The 3 questions: what are the weaknesses in the position? What's the worst place piece? What's my opponent's idea? When we scroll down, this one had 3 questions too as well. I can't remember his in verbatim. His one was like, can I win directly? And I know the third one was like, what does my opponent want to do? So it was very symbiotic there. 2 Grandmasters, 2 different books talking about the same thing when it comes to like, what does my opponent want to do? And then one said, can I win directly? And one was like, you know, what are the weaknesses in the position? I forgot what his second question was, but this was a good book too as well. This one's a classic, Chess for Zebras, thinking differently about black and white. This one goes into psychology of chess, certain openings, and like, this is a very nice one. 7 Deadly Chess Sins. This one's a good one too. It's a classic. Techniques of Positional Play. This one's amazing, underrated too. It talks about basically, or I guess the title is right there, Techniques of Positional Play. But it gives you very good, you know, insight and overall understanding. That's the word we're looking for. When it comes to positional play, I thought this was a fire book when I was going through it. I still need to finish it. I actually went up to like 200 or something. And then I wiped the book because after some time, if you don't spend more time in the book, you know, or you kind of get bored, or you do something else, or you study another book, I will wipe the book frequently. So I have so many books. Sometimes you bounce around. It's understandable, especially for people that read books or are Chessable users. Sometimes you'll be reading a book and then you see another book, you go read that book, and then you leave this book behind. So that's what I did here. So I need to go through this one again. Grandmaster Thinking by my buddy Boris Amruk. He a very strong book as well. It's just talking about how grandmasters think. Grind Like a Grandmaster. I actually went through this one and wiped this entire thing again. You know, you read it, wiping the book is like reading it over from the beginning to end. So I actually went through this entire book. This one's nice. This is David Howe and Magnus Carlsen. So really nice. This one helps you play against, or shows you how to play boring positions, basically. So Grinding Like a Grandmaster, it's a grinder type of book, basically. So even this is not super tactical type of stuff. Next one here is Game Changer, Alpha Zero's groundbreaking strategies and promise of AI. This one's really nice, talking to you about how Alpha Zero is, and the engine itself, the neural network stuff, and like using the Alpha Zero H4, H5, H6 type of play, putting the pawn on H6 or A6, whatever it is, basically using the H and A pawns to create some weaknesses in king positions and etc. But really strong book. I think this was nice. I like to learn kind of from some of the stuff that the engines like to play. For instance, I learned that the engine liked Nimzo Indian for against D4 type of play, and against E4 they would always go for Berlin, which is absolutely gross. Like, who was trying to play that? But the engine loved Berlin. No, we don't do that over here. Berlin is not something we actually like to play. And with white, I think they liked a lot of knight f3s and sort of Catalan type setups. So the last two books here are Theoretical Rook in Games. This is the newer one by Sam Shanklin. I think this is very nice because the newer, not the better, not all the time, but this one's a good one. Also, one I'm leaving off is actually Dabrowski's in-game manual, but that's more of an encyclopedia, and it's very difficult to read that book, but it's very, very nice too as well. I think this one is probably a nicer one too to read. It's a newer one, Theoretical Rook in Games here by Sam Shanklin, and I think it's more practical than anything else. Last one is Pump Up Your Rating by Axel Smith. Axel Smith, who wrote the Woodpeckers here. You see he's here on Woodpecker Positional and the Woodpecker Method itself. And then he's here with Pump Up Your Rating. So this one's good. I think this one is exactly what it talks about, pumping up your rating. In fact, let's look at the contents in this book. It's been a while since I read this one. Yeah, positional chess calculation, fair exchanges. There was some psychological stuff in here too, like in the opening. You see I spent time in the opening section because I wanted to see what they had to say. But it was very important, stuff like that. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for this one here. Underrated. Obviously, you can watch this book as many times as or watch this book. Yes, you can watch this video and read these books at the same time. Well, you can go through this video as much as you need to. Obviously, I'm on Chessable all the time. I've already done my streak. I'm at 2,122 days in a row. You add it up, of course. Boy, been working. I know you guys been working as well. So make sure you guys let me know what you think about these books in the comments under the video. Subscribe as well. I'll see you guys on the 100K grind. 100K subscribers. We're on the way. And I'll see you guys on the next video.